Hey guys, Sam here from Technologetic, and today we're taking a look at the Manfrotto MVK502AQ, which is a video fluid head tripod. I got from Amazon for about $400 US, and then I got that forwarded to Australia, which is another $100 AUD. So it ended up costing me about $500 Australian with all that process, but if I was to buy it locally, it'd be about $700 or $800, so I think I saved a bit of money there. The main reason I got this was because the tripod that we're filming on the camera right now, it just doesn't support all the things I have on top. Got an audio recorder, the camera, wireless mic on top, sometimes some lights or another shotgun microphone, and the cheap $80 tripod that I got from one of the department stores in Australia just doesn't cut it anymore. So the Manfrotto MVK502AQ tops out 171 centimeters tall, which if you add the fluid head and the camera on top, probably is about 180 centimeters tall. So it definitely gets over most people's heads, and I can actually walk underneath the tripod. On the other end, it goes to 21 centimeters short, but if you spread the legs out, you can actually go lower and lower if you want a really stable shot low to the ground. The main feature, or the main part of this whole tripod is this fluid head. And ball head mount for the fluid head. So it's a standard 75mm ball head, so you can put any tripod head that you have that supports that specification. And here I've got the Manfrotto 502 HD, which is one of the most popular common video heads that they sell. It has a couple of main features which differ from this one. Firstly, it doesn't only have a tilt and pan lock, but it also has tilt and pan drag. So if you want to do a really slow shot, you can increase the drag by a lot, slowly do it, and you won't get as much jerk and whatever that you would if you had it on the other complete opposite end where it moves really easily, but it introduces lots of jerks if you tap it and it does that kind of thing, whereas if you've got it really smooth, it's kind of like that. It's got the same option for the tilt. You can make it really stiff, or you can make it really easy to move. Then the locks, if you want to actually lock off a particular axis of your camera, you can just lock the tilt, or you can lock the pan, and it won't let you move it at all, and if you lock it a bit tighter. So it gives you all those options. It is a counterbalance tripod head rather. So if you have the right amount of weight, I think it's about 4 kilograms on this, but even though the tripod actually supports up to 7 kilos, the optimal weight is about 4 kilos. With all this gear, I'm at about 2 kilos, so I'm not even near there. But you can make it so basically, see how it kind of springs back like that? So you can make it so, if you have the right weight on it, it actually won't spring back, and it'll let you kind of hold it there, and if I let go, it won't do that spring. So it means if I go down like that, some tripods will push back, some will sag down. It'll actually just stay there, like wherever you've left off. So it's kind of a nice feature to have. It's cool for cinematic moves if you want to end up in a particular location. So the whole tripod weighs 1.8 kilograms, which is a lot heavier than the run-of-the-mill tripod you get at your local tech shop or whatever. But it's definitely worth it in terms of the support and stability that you're putting your thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment on. It's like you can kind of feel the sturdiness there. I'm moving it around a little bit, but you can just feel that if I push on it, there's no sag, the legs don't bend or anything, whereas that one pretty much sags as soon as I put more than just the camera on it. So I guess that's what you're paying for pretty much with this kind of level of tripod. So it's about this big when you have it all put together. It's still fairly big to carry. It's quite heavy to carry. You kind of got to carry it on your shoulder or whatever, but it's a pretty small package for what it comes out as. So setting it up, you just get these locks. You just undo the however many you need for the height. So I'm just going to do 3 just to show how high it goes. Then in the end, you've got these studs if you want to stud into grass, or you've just got flat rubber feet if you just want to put it on floorboards or something like that. So you just lock off the legs at the full extension, which is there. And so as you can see, it gets really tall. Then putting the camera on, I put this handle out so you can actually have a grasp of it. Just kind of about to there, so I'm this tall. Then you get your camera, just attach the camera to the base plates that they have. Note that if you've got a wide lens hood or something on, it's actually really hard to slide the base plate in, so just take that off when you're putting your camera in. Push the button at the back and slide it in, and then you just tighten this lever here. One thing to note is the lever is really hard to do if it bumps into your camera, so you've really got to set it to the kind of to the nearest point where it'll start gripping on your on the thing, because it won't let you spin the whole thing around if the camera's in the way. It does let you do this pull out thing and you can kind of twist it around, but it actually ends up most of the time just pulling the rest of the nut with it. So that's one disadvantage of this, it's kind of fiddly to actually get that in. But once it's locked in, and even now, once even though it's not locked in, it definitely won't fall out because I've clicked it in there. So that's kind of a reassuring safety feature. So actually using the MVK500AQ is really easy. Once you've got your legs set up at the height that is comfortable for you and works for whatever you're shooting, you grab the ball head and you get the bubble of the spirit level right in the middle of the circle, which is just there. Once you've done that, lock it off and decide what kind of shot you're getting. So if you're getting a slow pan, you probably want to introduce the pan resistance nearly to the max, just so you can push it really slowly, because you can always speed it up later in post-production. If you're doing anything with tilt, maybe you want to increase the resistance there as well. Set up your shot, turn your camera on, obviously, and we'll go ahead and just do a nice pan. Right in the sun, so this is really hard to see right now, but hopefully it looks cool. I'm just going to interject here with something that I forgot to cover in the initial review, but literally one of the most annoying things with this tripod is the little jerk back that you get on both the pan and tilt. So if I'm doing a pan smoothly across and then I end the pan, it'll jerk back 1/2 centimeter or something, which is fine if you're on a really wide angle, but as you can see here, if you're zoomed in, it's really ruined your shot, and it's really something you've got to be mindful of when you're using the tripod. Alright, so once you've done your shot, you can just think about what other kind of shots you want to do. Maybe you want a really quick move, in which case you probably reduce the resistance way down as much as you can. You get that free move. Overall makes pretty easy to decide to get any kind of tripod shot that you want with this kind of resistance system. So on the head itself, you've got a couple of different options for mounting different accessories. You've got 2 different screw holes, one's a standard tripod, one's a slightly a little bit bigger. They're both standard options, and lets you put on things like magic arms or a screen or boom microphones or whatever you actually want to attach to your tripod head and have move with your camera. So finally, let's take a quick look at the legs. I've got the aluminium versions here, but I could have got the carbon fiber version, but I found it actually wasn't that much lighter looking at the specifications. So I just went ahead and got the aluminium version. It's got these 2 fabric bits here, so when you've got really nearly cold conditions, like the snow or whatever, that's going to be really hard to grab onto. So it gives you this a lot less cold and like easy to grab onto and gives you some grip. Also got these different leg options here. So if you lift the leg up, push this thing out, you can find your leg goes a lot like that. You can have it pretty much perpendicular to the rest of the tripod. So that's for getting really low shots, because it doesn't really work here. But if you're really low on the ground, split out all 3 legs like this, you'll be able to get really low to the ground, still have the stability and the features of the fluid head. So thanks for watching this Technologetic video on the Manfrotto MVK502AQ. It's a good tripod, it's pretty expensive, but it holds all the weight that I need, and it's fairly light compared to other tripods of this size and for the weight that they carry. It's got this nice pan head, fluid head, and will let me upgrade my camera to more weights over time where I won't have to get a new tripod. So tripod's pretty nice an investment for your whole photography or videography career. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. Maybe I'll look at doing a Manfrotto monopod review in the future, because I've got one of them. And if you want to follow us throughout the week, you can follow us on Technologetic Instagram, which is @Technologetic. Videos every Sunday, so come back next Sunday for another one. Thanks.